Hello again, my name's Diane and I design and make patchwork quilts, and this is a lovely little scrap buster. It's made with pink half square triangles and it's 34 inches by 44 inches. And if you'd like to see how I made this one, please continue watching. Well, here's a close-up of it. This has been made from 3-inch half square triangles with a pink triangle and another softer colour triangle for the background. Very easy to make and it stops accumulation of scraps, which nobody wants. The guilt of the scrap cupboard. Anyway, let's have a little look at the design. I'm calling this one Pink on Point, and I'm going to use all the magenta fabric that I have left over from my magenta heart quilt. So I'm thinking I have a lot of half square triangles, so I thought I would put them together with a scrappy background and it would be squares on point, so there's the name. And it is 30 inches by 40 inches, so a crib size. And I thought I would make it like this, and I'd need 48 of the squares, and then I thought perhaps it would be a little bit too much for a young baby, and then I thought I would add some softer pink. I have got some softer pink in my stash, so this way I could use the magenta around the outside and in the centre panel. Then I would need 32 of the on point magenta pink and 16 of the softer pink, and I've looked at the scraps that I have, and I have enough already for 19 of the 32 magenta squares, and I have 3 of the 16. So I need to make 13 soft pink squares, 13 magenta squares, and 26 background squares. So let's have a little look at the fabric. And so in this little tub here, I've been saving squares, 4 3/4 inch squares in soft fabric colours from other projects. And then I have some magenta squares left over. So I have some of those. So these are 4 3/4 inches. And so I'll put them right sides together, 1/4 inch seam around the outside, snip off the corners, cut on the diagonal, and that will give me 3-inch half square triangles. So that's what we've got in this pot. Obviously there's not enough yet for a quilt. So that's a little look at the half square triangles I already have. So there isn't one dominant colour there. And then this is the fabric that I've set aside to go with it. Now I need to find some more. So at the end of each project, any 4 3/4 inch squares I have left over, I put in here. If there's bits of fabric that I can cut that size square from, I do, and they go in there. So now I'm going to have a little look and see if there's anything that I can use in this quilt. So I have these 10 squares, so they will work. And now I need to find another 16, okay? Looking in the fat quarters now. So I've got some more of the yellow, so I use some of that. And there's a lovely little blue spring flower. I use some of that. And there are already some half square triangles made up in the white background and this dotty and the green. So I'll take some of that and then we'll start sewing. Okay, so I really enjoy making these scrap buster quilts. It's relaxing. You use up all the odd bits of fabric that you're beginning to store. They don't get out of hand. So I've sewed now all of the soft pink. So there we have the squares on point. And that looks nice against all the different colours. And now I've arranged all of the magenta pink ready to sew. And so what I shall do is start with the dotty fabric, and I'll take one of those and sew with each of these until the dotty fabric's all gone, and then I shall move on to the next pile and so on. So there'll be a good variation so that when they all come together, squares will be different. So I've chain pieced those now, they're all in pairs, but it's important when you're doing chain piecing like this that you have a little break. So I'm going to grab a cup of coffee and have a wander around the garden. I've had a lovely cup of coffee, saw some bees in the garden, and now I've come back and I've sewn all of the magenta squares together and laid them on the floor in my craft room. So I'm a bit pushed for space, but just manages to squeeze in. And I'm looking just to make sure that none of the half square triangles, the background, are the same fabric touching. I don't think they are. So I think I'm going to go with this design and I'll start sewing it together. So I think I'm just going to sew a row across and then join the whole thing together. Well, this little scrappy quilt hasn't taken very long to put together at all. It's all basted now, my walking foot's on, and I'm just going to quilt it in a simple crosshatch. So I'll show you when it's finished. And that's the backing. It's a crisp white with a little soft red leaf, the pink binding. And so I've used a 20-80 batting, 20% polyester, 80% cotton. Gives it a nice loft, it's nice and soft and light, perfect for a young child. It has a narrow border of magenta and a pink binding. So if you've enjoyed watching this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to, and I'll put the design plan on the community page for anyone that wants it. Thanks for watching, take good care of yourselves, bye!